Hi, Cynthia here. So this little video is just going to be kind of a quick one because there's not a super amount of details in it. But when you're a surrogate or an intended parent, there's always the debate of whether you should go through an agency or do it indie, which is what they call an independent journey. So I myself am a little bit biased to going with an agency. I think it's a very responsible way, especially for intended parents wanting to do, because through an agency is pretty much a third party that helps get everything tied together. So through an agency, intended parents can match with a surrogate. That's normally how you get what I was talking about in another video, which is the intended parents get to look through a database of surrogates that are registered or saying that they're available with an agency. And when the intended parent finds one that they like, then they send the surrogate the intended parent's information, and then if they like each other, it becomes a match. Well, with an agency, once that happens, the agency helps set up your medical screening with their fertility clinic. They help get your plane tickets in place for the surrogate. They help with the rental car and all the plans and things like that. They are also the go-between with the lawyers and the intended parents or the lawyers and the surrogate. They also help make sure everything's in place. They help with your life insurance. They help with your health insurance. And they're also really, really good for first-time surrogates, because sometimes first-time surrogates have so many questions that I kind of feel are common sense, but not everybody has done this before. Not everybody is super surrogate savvy. And so I can understand that. But I was shocked when just a few days ago on one of the Facebook surrogacy sites that I'm on, somebody mentioned not having their life insurance yet. And they were already well into their pregnancy, and this shocked me. And I said on there, you should have actually had your life insurance before the transfer to implant the baby ever even happened, because it's the intended parent's responsibility to provide life insurance, and it's more likely to get approved if you're not pregnant. Sometimes you can get denied if you're pregnant. And then another surrogate said on there that she's 37 weeks pregnant and still doesn't have life insurance. And it got me thinking, this is something that an agency would have made sure that this was in place in the first couple months, first even few weeks after a match and after contract has taken place. So this is a very, very important thing. And now there's no way that somebody that's 37 weeks pregnant is going to qualify for life insurance. So it got me thinking that those people that had those experiences must have been independent, because there's no way that an agency would have let that happen. They would have looked out for the intended parent, and they would have looked out for the surrogate, making sure that these things are in place. Also, the reason why an agency is great for a surrogate is because they help make sure your payments come, and they help make sure you have support at any time. My agency is amazing. I love her. She's super on top of things, which is important to me because I'm also very on top of things. And her being so efficient makes the whole process more efficient. And also, too, it helps make the intended parent's journey more efficient and go more smoothly. So they know that in such a, complicated situation that everything for them is going as smooth as they can. Surrogacy can be very expensive. What I looked up what the intended parents pay is anywhere between $80,000 to $120,000. Of course, that is not what the surrogate gets, nowhere close. A lot of that goes to legal and insurance and things like that. When a parent has multiples, it's a lot more expensive. There is a lot more medical bills and things like that happen. And of course, all the complications that can arise from twins. Another reason why the agency is great for intended parents is because the agency is going to make sure that the surrogate has a background check, psychological screening, going to help all that go into place. If there's any questionable medical bills that the intended parent thinks that maybe, no offense, but maybe they have a shady surrogate and they just want something double checked without offending the surrogate, they can go to the agency and say, hey, can you please look into this? It just doesn't seem right. And the agency will look into it. So how the independent ones work is they must just find each other on the internet somehow. Don't know how nice that is. I don't know how smooth that would be or how efficient or pretty much how legit, in my opinion. And once again, these are my opinions. They're based off of my experiences. And with my experience, I would never really want to go independently. There are so many things that can go wrong. If you don't have an agency, there's nobody there to double check and make sure that the surrogate's getting their payments. Nobody to double check that a surrogate is doing everything they're supposed to do for the intended parents. So I think that intended parents should always go through an agency, because you're going to have that third party that's helping to reiterate to the surrogate, especially if they're new, that they're doing everything they're supposed to be doing to make sure there's a healthy baby, healthy pregnancy, and the intended parents get their baby as perfectly and smoothly as possible. With the independent processes, like I said, they must find each other on sites on the internet. I have actually seen that happen. There's been chat rooms and Facebook sites or Facebook rooms where people can just go in, hey, I'm a surrogate, hey, I'm an intended parent, let's match up. There's not all the agency there of making sure everything's processed perfectly. They're just trying to save money on not using an agency, which I think an agency is well worth the cost that's paid, because like I said, it's a peace of mind for the intended parent and it's a peace of mind for the surrogate. Agencies also often, in addition to the psychological screening, background checks, like I said, they help you get set up with the medical screenings, and they communicate with the clinic as well. Anything on your part, say, for example, in this process that I'm in right now, I was getting a lot of mixed information from the fertility clinic. They were saying one thing in one email, and then I'd be like, wait, I don't think that's me that you're talking to. I think maybe they were trying to talk to somebody else, and maybe they just emailed me instead. And when I would try to get clarification, they were not contacting me back. They'd drop it. I'm like, okay, it must have really have been somebody else, and they've realized their mistake. But then they'd send me something else again, saying wrong information again. And so my agent called them and was like, this surrogate is very on top of it. You need to answer her and make sure what's going on. She was getting different information as well. And she just really nipped it in the butt so we can make sure everything else started to go smooth. So they're also a go-between for the intended parent and the fertility clinic, the agent or the surrogate and the fertility clinic. So they're a go-between for everything. And if you have the right agency, you're going to be, as an intended parent, you're going to be a major priority. And as a surrogate, you're going to be a major priority. I know for agencies, normally the intended parent is their main customer. But if you get the proper agency, then the surrogate is going to feel like the number one also. I didn't end up going through a process, but it was a very high-end surrogacy agency in LA, in Hollywood. You can actually see the Hollywood sign from their office. And I really felt like the whole time they were looking down on me, and that they were just going to want me to do whatever they say and don't ask questions. And that's not the type of person I am. And I don't think that's the type of person that should be carrying your baby. You want somebody, an intended parent should want somebody with a mind that can think, because then when you're being told certain information that doesn't seem right, you can be, wait, is that me you're talking to? I don't think this is healthiest for the baby, and be able to give your input back so mistakes don't happen. So an intended parent should definitely have a surrogate who knows what they're doing, that can stick up for their body, because the baby's inside their body. And when that agency noticed that I did have a mind and I did ask questions, we both thought it wasn't the best idea to work together, because they treated me like just, like a soldier in the military. You do what we say, no questions. Things like that. And like I said, that's not the type of person I am. If you're telling me to do something that seems funny, I'm going to protect this baby that's in my body and protect my body so it has a healthier environment for the baby to live in. So definitely pick a good agency. I think agencies are definitely way better than going independent. And yeah, that's just my opinion. So that's why that's the difference between agencies and independent, is the agency, there's a go-between. Independent, there's nothing really to enforce anything. Yes, you still have a contract, but who's really there to help you enforce the contract? Your lawyer can talk to their lawyer, but they're mostly only kind of your lawyer in the beginning while they're drafting the contract. So when you're going to start this process, definitely look into what works best for you. If you don't feel like you need an agency, then that's your opinion. But if you want a legit, efficient transaction with lots of support on both sides, then agency is definitely the way to go. Alrighty, so once again, my name is Cynthia, and my channel is The Sassy Surrogate, because I like to tell things how they are from my perspective and my experiences. So please subscribe, because I do have a lot of videos and a lot more to come. So thank you, and have a great day.